This is a pick a card reading, but you're gonna pick a bunny. And the theme is, what are the person on your mind's current thoughts and feelings about you? So what are they currently thinking and feeling about you? Take a moment, tap in, pick your bunny. Contestant number 1. Contestant number 2. Contestant number 3. All right. And also, if you have any specific themes for a pick a card reading that you're wanting to see, feel free to comment that down below. And let's get into it. If you chose this bunny, then this is your reading. And if what I'm about to say is starting to resonate with you, I'm just going to give you an overview of the energies that came out right now. If this isn't hitting for you, then I would suggest picking a different reading, a different bunny. But already with the 5 of Swords and the 10 of Swords, I feel like this is a person that you are either not in contact with at this time, or very minimal contact, or the energies are just at a bit of a standstill and pretty slow, because I feel like there is some sort of conflict that took place. Take that as it resonates. It doesn't have to be an intense yelling match, but I'm getting that there was some type of disharmony or imbalance that kind of disconnected the connection in some form or another. And with the 10 of Swords, it feels like there was some sort of conclusion or ending or separation that took place. This could be in a lot of different breeds of like intensity depending on your situation. But yeah, if this already isn't resonating for you, then I would suggest picking a different reading. But I do feel this individual, because the oracle card we got is be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. So I feel like this person has a lot of hope for the future between y'all. And especially with the wording, like when we dream, everything is possible. I feel like this is something that they're getting gentle reminders of from the universe, because they are having some type of doubt around that. Like I feel like there is some sort of apprehension or hesitation in allowing themselves to fully dream of the future and live in that hope. Like I feel like I'm just getting that the nervous system of this individual, or like the predisposition that they have based on their trauma and their upbringing, that sort of thing, is to kind of they associate that breed of hope and wishing with almost a form of weakness. But it is something that they are having a shift around, and maybe there's like small examples of that happening in their life that's kind of allowing them to recognize like, oh, that is my trauma, that is not healthy, to just assume the worst, or just to assume there's no room for hope. And so they're learning to carry a gentle hope with them, but ultimately they are aiming to stay in the present moment, which it feels like is in disconnect from you, but they're allowing themselves to hold hope for the future of this connection, and are actively, whether they would call it this or not, they're actively manifesting that. They're actively imagining what that would look like, what that would feel like, how that could potentially come about, things like that. And with whale song resonating and innocent purity, I feel like they definitely recognize how much y'all's energies resonate together and how true of a connection y'all genuinely have. And they also see you as a very pure soul. They see your innocence. They see like how genuine and earnest and authentically you show up. And I feel like that could be contributing also to these feelings that they've had of feeling like, I just feel intuitively that they have these feelings of self-doubt that they are able to, in their present state, truly match your level of innocence. And not that they feel that they have to show up exactly as you do, but they associate that innocence and that purity that you hold with such like high regard that it does cause a lot of self-reflection for them, and a lot of I feel like in moments it manifests as self-doubt for them, because they seem to have more that they're working on and more that they want to evolve within themselves, to not only be able to show up for themselves the way they want to in their life, but also show up for you in the way that they feel that you really deserve and need. I want to go in deeper with an animal spirit deck, and we're going to get a general relationship spread so I can see the dynamic from like a bird's eye view. We're going to do illuminated dynamic, shadow dynamic, central energy, you and them, and see what it's all looking like. Get more information from there. Okay, super interesting. So the central energy of this dynamic is the wolf, which is very much showing that there is like almost like a base of family. And when I say that, I really mean like soul family. Like I feel like this is someone that y'all really feel a very strong connection, and it feels like no matter what, we were meant to be part of one another's lives, and that feels ultimately clear, like deep in your blood and your bones. And it's like the basis of this connection is like, that's my family, that's my, like, there's a strong devotion, there's a strong connection there. This card also talks about like, which feels like, okay, this card also talks about like, the only thing to really keep in mind and have consideration for with this energy is it talks about the only issues really come up when the wolf assumes that the whole pack should follow suit. And to me, this like really kind of applies to what I was talking about, where this person really recognizes your purity and your innocence, and I feel like they use that to almost put you on a pedestal and feel that they need to follow suit. And if they aren't completely reflecting that aspect of you, then maybe they don't deserve you, maybe they're not your match. Whereas I feel like either you view this way, or y'all could view it this way, where it's like, we're each separate people, we're separate energies, and we have different things to offer. And where one person may offer, for example, innocence and purity, the other may offer a really strong sense of stability and support, like protection. You know, like not everything has to exactly mirror each other. It can be like a trade-off. It can be like, I have these strong suits and also these weaknesses, whereas you have these strong suits that differ from mine and other weaknesses that differ from mine, and together we show up and energetically we match, where we balance each other out. You feel me? And so, but I feel like they're viewing this in a way where it feels like a shortcoming. They're viewing themselves as like, it's a shortcoming that I can't match their sense of purity and innocence. Whereas I don't think it needs to be viewed that way. But that seems to be the central energy, like the forefront of what's on their mind right now. And the illuminated dynamic we got was the moth, which this card talks about being attracted to shiny solutions and anything that's like new and flashy, and not really taking a deeper look. And honestly, in this situation, for me, it's kind of coming up as like, I feel like from taking the disconnect that they have from this connection, it kind of was the easy way out. It kind of was the easy solution, the surface level solution that they felt drawn to, but not from a deeper sense of like really considering all the energies at play and the different layers of this connection and depths of this connection. I feel like they were kind of drawn to the easy way out, the easy solution, which I feel like was some sort of disconnect here, some sort of conclusion that happened. And the shadow dynamic is the swan, which is definitely a call to solo time and reflection. So I feel like this is happening on both sides and is needed to happen, and hopefully can lead to a deeper examination with this energy and really feeling out like, okay, I'm reflecting to myself. And maybe that's just the way they have to go through it, is they have to like be drawn to the easy solution to then fully feel it out and feel like, okay, something's still not feeling quite right, something's still not aligning all the way. What am I missing? What do I need to look deeper at? And all of those considerations come from solo time and reflection. Also, I will say though, this person is showing up as the octopus, which speaks about unhealthy boundaries. And it's someone who has pure, like they have healthy intentions or good intentions, but it comes out as messy boundaries in the sense that they feel like sharing everything is what it is to be close to someone, whereas that's not fully what's best for this connection. It's interesting though, because based on the other energies, I feel like this person is withholding a lot for you and not necessarily sharing everything. But maybe this is how they view themselves, and like to them, like sharing anything at all in this situation feels like too much. It feels like oversharing, and it gives them that sense of like cringe and like, I have no boundaries. Like, how could I share that with them or like be open about that? They're having a lot of inner rejection to that, and I feel like that does stem from like traumas and upbringing. I feel like they're experiencing a lot of yearning right now, that they are really they're like condemning themselves for feeling that and experiencing that, but ultimately it's their truth and it's what they're experiencing. They just are I feel like not really making the space for them to be able to really experience that. And you're showing up as the crow, which is a super like, I feel like you're very almost mysterious to this person. They like always want to learn more about you, and they feel like it's kind of this never ending, like there's so much depth to you, there's so many layers, and they've uncovered layers, and as they do, it's like, whoa, it's like there's just always more to you, and they love that about you. They're very attracted to it. It's very like magnetic to them, and I feel like they do view you as a very magical, almost like supernatural type of energy. It's you're very like otherworldly to them, and it is something that really it draws them in, and they always want to learn more about you. I do think this is something that kind of scares them about this connection and about like going deeper with you. Is it's like, how deep does it go? I don't know. It's this kind of feeling of like there's a fear of getting lost in it, and in you and in this connection. I want to go in with more tarot and see what more we can get. All right, we got King of Wands and the Tower. So I feel like this person, they feel so passionate about this connection. They feel so much passion and draw towards you. And I feel like even their passion for this connection is kind of what catapulted them into this massive transformation that they're going through. And it's a very, I feel like they were already invested and in this connection with you when this transformation kind of catapulted. And like I said, I think it was catalyzed by this connection, and they felt very vulnerable to be led into this transformation with your eyes on them. You feel me? Like it's like they're having these feelings of, I don't want you to see me like this. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, because you know, when you're catapulted into such an intense transformation, there's a lot of feelings of confusion and I don't know what's going to happen next, and like instability that come up, and that's not at all how they see you nor how they want you to see them. So I feel like there was a lot of feelings of vulnerability and even like self disapproval. And so I feel like that is what kind of caused this disconnect or led to the disconnect, because they're like, I don't want you to see me like this. I want to have my shit figured out before I invest more into this connection. Because we also got Knight of Swords, and with this, the swords are about the mindset and the brain, and I feel like this is something that they've always carried a lot of self-respect and admiration for themselves with, is like connected to their sense of logic and rationalization and how they think and process things. And that's something that they've viewed as a strong suit of theirs. But I feel like those winds are shifting through this transformation. Those things are being redefined for them. And yeah, I just keep getting this sense of like, they don't want you to see them in the midst of transformation, which is disappointing, because I feel like it's disappointing for you because you view this person as your teammate, as someone that you really love and care for. And from your view of a teammate and a relationship, this is something that y'all should be able to traverse together and support each other through. But I feel like because of this pedestal that they put you on, which didn't become fully apparent or any type of issue to consider until this transformation hit their life, but because of the pedestal that they put you on, they feel a lot of discomfort in letting you see them in a space of what they consider weakness. And really, it's just human transformation. It's spaces of vulnerability and the unknown that everyone encounters and goes through eras of, but they really don't want you to see them in this space, and that's what's causing them to kind of push you away, and what caused this disconnect. But it is very clear that they're feeling a lot of passion. I want to because also the very first card we got out was this Oracle card. Be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. So they are very much like investing in the present moment and trying to like see themselves through this transformation and see themselves to the other side of it. But simultaneously, they do hold hope for the future and hope for your connection, and are dreaming of what that could be like, what that could look like. I want to get some tarot more about that and what they're envisioning for the two of you, what their hope is looking and feeling like to them. Okay, yeah, so we got Ace of Wands. They are dreaming of a passionate new beginning with you, We also got Eight of Swords, so they are feeling a lot of anxiety and doubt around this as well. It's not an easy dream for them. They're like forcing themselves to make space for this dream and this hope because I feel like they need it, and they desire it so hard, and they feel like I'm getting that it's like it's an inspiration, it's a motivation that they need to get them through this transformation, and it's kind of serving as this like the light at the end of the tunnel that they can see and name to find the strength, to find the extra energy to keep moving through this. And it's the next best thing they could have to having your real life present support, which they've already decided to go without that. So the next best thing is to dream of like what it could be on the other side, because we also got King of Pentacles. Like they are seeing this as something that could only happen when they achieve a certain level of stability and like success, whatever success looks and feels like to them. They want to be in their secure self when they when they can hopefully reconnect with you. The trouble I see with this is it feels like a very idealistic perspective, because they're viewing it as like, okay, I have to be at a certain space to then match this person and be with them. But bro, like there's always the next transformation, there's always the next level. So what, are you gonna tap out every time that you feel vulnerable and you feel like not in the King of Pentacles? That's what I want to draw some cards around that. Like how is that gonna pan out? Because I see that as being an issue. I think they don't have like a realistic perspective of what a relationship in the long term really looks like. I'm gonna go deeper about that. Whoa, okay. So we got Three of Swords, heartbreak. I feel like, so this person, they already were catapulted into this transformation while still in the connection, which ultimately led them to a choice of disconnecting from the connection, which then brought upon this heartbreak. And this is transforming them in a different, like it brought on a whole nother transformation, a whole nother layer of transformation. We also got Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. I feel like this heartbreak itself, which I just got a message real quick, like if y'all are in silence, own that silence, bro. Like stand on that, because I feel like the silence and their experience of truly lacking you from their life and the unknown of if they will ever be able to resurrect that is what's really transforming them at this time and giving them the sort of wake-up call and transformation and experiences that they need to have to fully understand like what this love serves in their life in all the ways, like in the highs and the lows. And yeah, I feel like if you are feeling tempted to reach out to this person or to continue letting them know like I'm here for you, like even though you've disconnected from this and chosen that, it's not allowing them to fully understand and experience what it would be like to not know if you will be there at the end of the journey. You know, to not know if you will be an option on the other side of this. Like that unknown, that loss, that absence is a really crucial part of their transformation that's happening right now. Because so we also got Seven of Pentacles and Six of Wands. So I feel like the way they're being humbled by this heartbreak and the transformation that it's provoked, they have no choice but to embrace it, to transmute this pain. And the way it's transmuting is it's shifting their vision of what achievement truly is and what achievement truly feels like and looks like. Because I feel like prior to this heartbreak, they had a very surface level, materialistic vision of what achievement is and what stability and security and success looks like to them. And that's what they were so tethered to, and like feeling like they really needed that in order to be worthy of you. The pain and the transformation that's coming from that pain is fully it's fully reframing how they view achievement and what a successful life looks like, what their desired life really looks like. And I feel like, I think deep down they already knew that like life is full of transformations. It's full of ups and downs. It's not like you get to a certain space of stability and security and then you're golden and like you'll forever be the king that you can be to the queen. Like that's fool mentality. And it's like deep down they knew that, but somehow they still got sucked into that. They still got sucked into that perspective and the rat race of it. And the heartbreak is forcing them to remember and really sit with the weight of life isn't fair. Life isn't black and white. Life isn't linear. It's not a ladder that you climb. It's always gonna be up and down. And they're seeing through their like loss of you and the absence of your presence in their life, they're feeling like, I think they're just getting it. They're just seeing it in a new way where it's like, but who do I want by my side through it all? What, like, getting the true like level up that they're having is, it's not to a space of financial freedom. It's not to a space of whatever they thought it was. It's getting to a space of being secure in the self and feeling their value to the extent that they feel confident that they have value to offer you. They have a place to take up in this connection. That's the true like up-leveling that's happening on the other side of these two separate transformations that have combined into an ultra transformation. Whew. So I do think they are finding the sense of self, the perspective of themselves, and the perspective of what success or what the life they truly desire actually looks and feels like, to be able to, when they do come back with this where was it, Ace of Wands, with the passionate new beginning, they're gonna come back in a new version of themselves that is actually sustainable in a long-term sense. And I do have to say, like, free will, all of that, bro. Like, don't wait for this person. Like, you never know what can shift in the meantime. It seems like they have a lot that they're in the middle of transforming. This is a reflection of the current energy and what it's giving and what it's moving towards. But always take it with a grain of salt. Any tarot reading that you listen to, I feel like it is important to note, like, we are reflecting current energies. We can't promise what's on the other end and how someone may execute their free will. But yeah, that's what it's giving. I want to get a concluding oracle card to close this reading out. Okay, we got express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. And what I immediately felt intuitively is that your gift to them right now is truly silence. Like, and I feel like that's the way to view it, because I think this is serving as advice for someone who is struggling with like this silence. And I feel like intuitively you feel called and knowing that your silence has power, and you're viewing it more from a space of like self-honoring and self-respect, which is truly like is truly important and a great space to view it from. But I feel like that's almost not enough for you in certain moments where you're feeling this connection so deep, and how much this person has given to you and how important this connection is. And in those moments where you are empathizing so deep with the other person, you're feeling like almost your self-preservation is at their loss, at their disservice. But that's not the way to view it. This is saying like view your silence and your self-honoring and confidence in staying in the disconnect as a gift to them, because it truly is. It's a really crucial part of their transformation, and I feel very called to emphasize that and to reframe that for you and view it as not only is it's not even a gift to yourself, it's kind of like a necessity for yourself, but it is simultaneously a gift for them. Whether either of y'all can be conscious of that, it is. And that's the way to look at it. That's gonna enable you to really feel more like sure about that decision, even though I feel like your gut is already screaming that. But yeah. All right, that's what I got for you. Reading number 1, bunny number 1. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Also, if you have a theme or a question that you'd like to see in a pick a card reading, feel free to comment that down below. And yeah, peace out, y'all. If you chose bunny number 2, this is your reading. I just want to say I've only gotten the leading oracle card so far, but while I was shuffling, I got this sensation of something that I personally call leftover tears, which is like that sensation of like, you know, when you've had like a deep cry and the next day like you can still feel it, you're no longer crying, but I call that sensation leftover tears. Like I feel my leftover tears, and I felt that. So I feel like maybe this person even had a deep cry about you last night. That's just a message that came through. The first oracle card is the only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus back to love. This already feels like a really deep. This feels like something deep. I don't know much yet about like the current state of this dynamic, but it feels like someone is having, I feel like this person on your mind is having a deep wake-up call about the significance of love and connection and you. And it feels like because they're being forced to shift their focus back to love, I feel like their focus fell away from love, and maybe they were prioritizing different things in their life, whether it was career, money. I just got like basically like the concept of like caring too much about what other people think, like ego shit. That's what I feel like. Okay, yeah, I'm curious. Let's go deeper. Yep. Okay, we got the death card, so I do feel like there was some type of ending that happened. I don't know if it was like as significant as a breakup, or if it was like an era of your connection ended and closed out. But I definitely feel what I was feeling, where it's like too much of their energy was going towards ego type of mentality and caring so much what other people think of them. I think that's very spot on, because we got 5 of Pentacles, and it's like this feeling of insecurity coming up and really harsh self-criticism. We also got the Empress, so I feel like they view you with so much respect, so much admiration. They see you as such a light, such an inspiration, and I do think they put you on a bit of a pedestal. I will say this If you came from reading 1, this may also be your reading, or vice versa. Reading 1 may also resonate with you, so feel free to check that out because they do feel connected. Of course, there will be like nuances and new messages coming through with this reading and vice versa. So just wanted to say that. We also got 4 of Swords, so I feel like this has put this person in a space of deep like meditation, self-reflection, and recuperation. Like they're really like having to heal themselves off of whatever this was, this ending that took place. And especially from it stemming from a space of insecurity, which I do feel like is a big difference between, it's like they're viewing you and them in a space of deep separation, because it's like they've put you on this pedestal as the empress, and meanwhile they're experiencing all this insecurity. And the biggest difference is just the perspective that y'all take in life, because you're both human and you experience insecurities as well on some level, but it's not at all in the way that this person allows themselves to experience insecurity, in a way that's like really holding them back, and it's really preventing themselves from focusing on this love that is so present, so precious, and such a gift available to them. But with 8 of Wands and 7 of Pentacles, there's this like urgency, there's this like need for speed that's coming about as a product of this death card, this ending that took place. And it is shifting their vision, it's shifting their perspective, and forcing them into a new era of themselves. I think I want to go in with the animal spirit deck and get a overall relationship spread and see what this is looking like. I'm gonna get a central energy, illuminate dynamic, shadow dynamic, them and you. I'm still shuffling the animal spirit, but a message that just came through is I feel like their insecurity was already present prior to meeting you and this connection, and you offered them a lot of validation, but they've become so aware of like, because you're such a bright light and you've influenced them so much and you've lifted them up so much, and they've become very aware at how much you have offered them and how much you've like even shifted their perspective of themselves. But they've come to a space of like seeing that as a weakness, or seeing that as like a problem, because the fears come in of like, but what happens if I lose this person? Like, and I feel like that could be connected to also a trauma, or maybe like what they've seen of their parents, or something like something in their upbringing that made them see. And I mean, it's valid, like these fears around codependence, and I feel that they feel they've become too dependent on your validation and your energy, and that's what has caused some of this, like the conclusion with the death energy, like whatever breakup or disconnect that happened, it's like they had a fear of depending on you too heavily in that regard, and that caused separation. But yeah, let's go in with this animal spirit and see what comes up. Okay, the central energy of this dynamic is the starfish, which talks about like I feel like maybe y'all are both very physically attractive people, or people that on the surface level outside look to be very almost superior compared to like the masses. And I feel like this has caused both of you to be kind of categorized in your lives, and also just like there's a lot of assumptions that are made about both of y'all, or a lot of even like energies of resentment and jealousy and envy that come up. And I feel like this is something that y'all have both experienced, and something that serves as a connection between the two of y'all, and something that y'all relate on. But it feels like it's like y'all are both aware that you've experienced this in your own individual life, but it's also happening within the relationship. Like, I feel like y'all both put each other on a pedestal, and it's not just them putting you on a pedestal, it's you too. It's really interesting because it's like, you know firsthand what that feels like. And I feel like y'all have even maybe had conversations relating about this to one another, and like how y'all have both experienced this type of energy from outside people. So it's like y'all have that concept on your awareness and in your consciousness, but then like subconsciously it's still seeped into the connection, and y'all still put each other on a pedestal in some way. And it's influenced the way that you interact with this connection. And it's like, because y'all have both put each other on some sort of pedestal, I'm getting like this sense of like burnout almost, of like, it's like, instead of being able to just like effortlessly show up as your true authentic self and trust the value of that within the connection, y'all have both put a lot of pressure on yourselves to match the other and to bring your best to this connection. And it's almost put the connection in a space of burnout. That's what I'm getting. The illuminated dynamic is the bat, which is an energy of rebirth. And it is like acknowledging this ending that's happened, but it's promoting that there is a rebirth happening. There is a new beginning taking place. It was only able to take place because of the death. And a big a crucial like aspect of allowing this rebirth to happen is letting go of the past, letting go of the past era of y'all's connection and what it looked like and what it felt like. And I feel like it has to be fully uprooted and like die before this new connection can be built. So lean into that, embrace this death that's happening, and let it go, let it release, and trust that what's meant to happen on the other side of it will. Do not cling on, do not hold on. Let it go, let it happen, let the rebirth happen naturally, organically. It's not your timeline to decide. The universe has a bigger plan and timeline for this. Divine timing, baby. All right, the shadow dynamic is the nightingale. So I feel like there is a lot that wants to be expressed on both sides. Like I said, I feel like you need to let this release happen. But in the meantime, y'all are accumulating like what it is you want to express to the other. This card definitely recommends like poetry and writing and journaling and like being in these spaces of like creative self-expression to be able to really make the space and time to see what it is that you truly do want to express and say, because I feel like it's not like readily on the tip of your tongue just yet. And this is on both sides, and I feel like it's something that I'm intuitively feeling like it needs this space of the death to like be unearthed. They are showing up as the buffalo, which is, it's a really durable, wise energy, and it speaks about, I feel like they're shifting into like how they were experiencing all this insecurity. They're shifting into a very different version of themselves, where they are learning to expect conflict, expect these obstacles of life to happen, and instead of seeing them as a weakness or a space of defeat, they're learning to embrace these difficulties as an opportunity for growth. And it's a very grounded energy, but it's also very spiritually connected and aligned and being led ultimately by that. So I feel like they are, whatever they're doing right now in this like space of death that's leading to rebirth, it's really transforming them in a very healing way, and they're really stepping into a much needed new version of themselves that is very grounded, but also like it's a really great balance of earth, of like the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And I feel like they were very focused in the physical realm prior to this rebirth transformation that's happening. They're finding a balance in that now. You're showing up as the raccoon, which is really interesting. I feel like with this, I'm getting that maybe this other person hasn't seen that many versions of you. Like I feel like, and this comes back to that starfish energy that was your center energy, where it's not just them putting you on a pedestal, you are putting them on a pedestal as well. And I think because of that, it's caused you to like, you're like, oh, I only want them to see the best versions of myself. And I don't think you consciously actively like disguise the more vulnerable aspects of yourself, but I think subconsciously it's been like, in any like subtle way that I can, I'm always gonna show my best face forward to them. And I feel like over time in the connection, that has like led them to see you in a higher space, but it's not necessarily the most realist, deepest, truest version of yourself. And I feel like if they could see the like deepest, darkest, truest, like all your shadows, not just your light, it would allow them to feel more of a balance in this connection and more of like a match, and less like of these insecurities that they were dealing with. And so I feel like the guidance around this is to like allow your true vulnerable side when interacting with this person, like even like when that's deeply uncomfortable and not necessarily how you want to present yourself. It's ultimately really going to serve the connection to allow yourself to show up just like flaws and all. Like that's what is really needed in this connection. I feel like with that starfish energy, I think y'all have both done that in some form or another, where it's like you almost just think so highly of the other person that you don't even like, you don't believe that they have deep flaws, and because of that you don't want them to see your deep flaws, and then over time that causes disconnect, it causes separation. And yeah, I feel like that's a big crucial aspect of what needs to be transformed here and uprooted and redirected through this rebirth. I want to go in with more tarot and see what more we can get on this. Okay, we got the Emperor, Eight of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. Which, first of all, I love to see the Emperor popping out, because remember at the beginning you popped out as the Empress, and I feel like this is talking about like, the thing is, I feel like this person has always been the Emperor. They've always been your match. Y'all have always like had that resonance and that like deep soul connection, but they weren't able to see themselves as the Emperor. And that's the difference that's shifting. That's what's happening, is they're finding new views of themselves, and they're able to, on the other side of this like because also like the Wheel of Fortune tells me like there's a lot happening energetically and like in the spirit realms than is like able to be seen by the physical eye right now. And there's a call for a lot of trust that like changes are happening and for the betterment of this connection. And it's putting them in this space of feeling like, with this Eight of Pentacles, they feel like they're finding this space of like perfection, in the sense of like, I am who I'm meant to be, and I am like going where I'm meant to go, and like everything that's happening is perfect because it's putting me on my path. It's like, it's very much going to this like buffalo energy that they showed up as in the spirit animal deck, where it's like they're reframing their perceptions in a really powerful way, where it's like before they were viewing all their flaws, all their like shortcomings as like pitfalls, and like as like ways that they aren't able to match you, and ways that they aren't showing up the way they should be. Whereas now they're seeing all those, they're still experiencing difficulty, they're still experiencing tough terrain, but they're like, duh, of course I'm going to experience conflict, of course I'm going to experience hardship. It is happening for my growth. And that's something that they've only been able to really like recognize in hindsight. Like I feel like they're able to look back. I think this is what's really transforming a lot for them, is they're able to, I think they're in some sort of solo space now of self-reflection, where they're able to look back on these aspects of themselves or situations that arose where at the time they viewed it as a shortcoming of theirs, and now they're like, wait, that's just like life. Like that's not a problem with me. That's something that I was meant to experience, because now I see how it grew me, I see how it leveled me up, and I can trust that now when hardships arise, I see it as an opportunity to upgrade. I see it as a way to even like deepen the connection and connect more with you and all these things. And it's allowing themselves to really view themselves as this emperor, the match to this empress, and like it's humanizing the both of you in a way that's still like their perspective is shifting in a way where they're seeing you both in a way that's way more humanized, but it still very fully recognizes the value of each of y'all and the power of each of y'all. I'm feeling called to get, I want a couple different oracle cards. Let's see what pops out. Okay, I'm still getting more oracle cards, but off rip we got fire, passion. So for anyone who is like having trouble trusting this death and this ultimately rebirth that's happening, and is having trouble trusting, just like letting it go and feeling like, what if they forget about me? What if like da 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 da? Bitch, they're not forgetting. There's the passion here is relentless. The passion is like, is what's fueling everything, and it's like can't be forgotten, can't be like, the fire cannot be put out. So have some faith in that. All right, let's keep going with more oracle. Okay, we got the farther gate, bold step forward, and we also got benefactor, grace, and generosity. And look at this, like they're seeing themselves as like the king, like they, okay, so with these, like I feel like, first of all, with the farther gate, bold step forward, I feel like they're starting to get really clear and confident on what they really want from this connection and with you in a future sense, and in like a long-term vision sort of way, where like before all this, like they just didn't have any type of like capacity or confidence for that. Like they didn't have the sense of self to really have faith in that, or even like any sort of like vision for that. They were just so focused on their insecurities and their quote unquote shortcomings. Whereas now, like they've gotten through this first gate here. This gate is open. This is like a transformation happening. They're unlocking so much about themselves and within themselves, and they can see this farther gate here. They can see what they want and what they want to move towards, and this is like propelling a bold step forward. I feel like they're really plotting like what they want to express to you, what they want to offer you. And with the benefactor, grace and generosity, like, yeah, they can really see, like, before I feel like they just had you on such a pedestal and they were only like focusing on what they couldn't give you, that they like just had to step away. And here they're able to really see like the value they could really provide for you and all the ways they could support you and make you feel love and support and security, and like having that self-confidence and like sense of self and like really seeing the value of themselves is everything here. Like it's not like they couldn't have embodied that before, but they didn't have the perception and the confidence to do it. Now they've like gone through transformations that have allowed them to view themselves in a whole new light and a whole new way. And that's what's going to ultimately like allow them to actually step into that role for you and really give that to you in a way that's true and authentic and full. That's awesome. I love that for you. I'm gonna get a concluding oracle card with the Whispers of Love oracle, and yeah, let's get a concluding card for pile number 2. Wait, really quick, with this benefactor, grace and generosity card, I'm also getting that they're seeing also how much value it will bring to them to be able to offer what they want to you, which is making them only want to offer that to you so much more. Because it's like before they were worried, they had that fear of falling into codependence and like all these feelings of like they had to prioritize themselves. They had to think about like what is best for me, and they were having trouble seeing how long term like continuing to give to the connection would ultimately be what's best for them. Whereas now they have a new perspective around themselves. They have that root that they're able to see how it will only grow them more, and able to invest in this with the sense of promise that it's not only benefiting you, which they want to do, but it is also benefiting them in a way that's really real and really something that they're going to see the results of in a long-term sense. They're finding like a confidence in that. All right, now back to the final concluding oracle card. Period. Love who you are. You are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer. I feel like this is what was truly lacking for them in like the past version of y'all's connection, and this is what they're truly learning to embody. And I feel like this is the ultimate key to the connection. And I mean, maybe this is a reflection for you as well. I mean, we're always like growing into ourselves more and deeper, and I feel like ultimately this connection is allowing y'all to move upward in that capacity more and more. Just truly trusting that you are a person of value, they are a person of value, and being able to truly feel that in a space of like purity and confidence is what's going to allow y'all to connect in the deepest depths possible and see yourselves as truly human without these pedestals that you put each other on, but also still seeing like how much value we each hold even without those pedestals, and without embodying that starfish energy that was coming up earlier, and how so many people view you. It's like y'all don't need that to be so valuable. And I feel like that is y'all's deepest relatability, and something that is truly being reflected and upgraded through this connection. And that's beautiful. That's everything. So keep stepping into your sense of self and your value of self and owning that. And it looks like they're gonna be able to do the same, and y'all are reflecting that with each other. All right, that's what I got for you, bunny number 2. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Also, if you have a theme or a question you'd like to see a pick a card reading about, feel free to comment that down below. And yeah, peace out, y'all. All right, if you chose bunny number 3, this is your reading. I'm still shuffling the opening oracle cards, but I just got, while I was shuffling, that this reading is for, it's not going to be what you want to hear, it's what you need to hear. I'm gonna just let you know straight up. If you're here for like entertainment purposes and to like just like hear what you want to hear, hold on. But yeah, no shade. If you're not here with some thick skin and to hear what you really need to hear, I'm gonna let you know right now you should tap out. But yeah, let's see what's coming up. Okay, we got forgiveness. Nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. And we also got have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. Nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. It feels like I'm getting this energy of almost like beating on a dead horse. Like, the forgiveness feels to me synonymous with releasing what is no longer giving to you. I feel like this is a reading for someone that, if this reading is meant for you, you have a gut feeling that this is something of the past. It is something that is disappointing to you, and it feels like but you still feel like you need it in some capacity. But that's where I feel like this faith comes through, of like, trust that like you have everything you need to flow through this and beyond, and trusting that it's more of putting your faith into the belief that like that's what, like, what's meant for me will be, and the best will come, and letting go of the face that's attached to. It feels like there is something that's like, yeah, these past disappointments, you're having trouble of letting go. You're holding on too tight. And I feel like the forgiveness is almost like a gift to the situation. Like, I forgive that this happened. I don't need to fix it. I don't need to resurrect it to make it better. Like, I don't need to somehow change it. And like, by forgiving the disappointment, like saying like, it's okay, it wasn't meant to be, like, I let it go. That's the initial energy here. But this reading is about what the person on your mind is feeling and thinking. So there's something that needs to happen for you through this reading. You need to see like what this person is thinking and feeling to help you do this. So let's keep going deeper. I think even before tarot, I want to go in with the animal spirit deck and get like an overall bird's eye view of this dynamic. I'm going to get a central energy, illuminated dynamic, shadow dynamic, them and you. Okay, the central energy is the sea serpent. And this is like, so I feel like the basis of the dynamic at this time is a space of healing. And it is a space of acknowledging like your deepest desires emotionally and sexually. And like, I feel like there is a very strong call on both ends to fully acknowledge what it is that you all are experiencing and feeling and desiring, without being attached to like the outcome of that. Like, necessarily bringing those desires to fruition, but more just in a space of acknowledging them for a space of healing to take place. The illuminated dynamic is the black egg, which this is the realist truth. This is a spirit card. It's a more rare element of the deck. Actually, these are both spirit cards. There's like really deep significance to this connection. It was meant to take place. It is meant to be here. It is a catalyst for you and for them to grow. It does feel like this is something that needs to be let go of. I feel like it's like, but that doesn't mean there isn't like real benefit and growth from still examining this situation, still being present with this connection and what all is going on here. It feels really deep. It feels very like there's a lot of layers to it. It's not something that's black or white. It's not even like forgive and forget and let go and like it's OV. It's like forgive and release these past disappointments, but there's a reason why it's still on your mind. There's a reason why you do want to know how this person is thinking and feeling. There is like information there. There's benefit there. But yeah, with the black egg, it's not always the truth that you want to hear. It is the realest truth. And it is also just like a card of authenticity, like fully embodying your true authentic self, and like in a very raw, expressive way, which isn't always I feel like the best guidance in every connection all the time. But with this connection in this present moment, I feel like there's a real need for raw truth. And this is the illuminated dynamic between the both of y'all. Like unfiltered, just like this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling like. And they showed out as the nightingale. Like I feel like they need to speak a truth specifically from them. There's something they need to express. And let's see, whatever they can express in raw truth. And I'm getting that like that doesn't even necessarily have to be with their words, because I feel like this is going to happen regardless of their free will, is what I'm getting. Like whether it's their words or their silence or their actions or whatever way expression can be expressed, which is in millions and infinite ways, it's going to be a space of raw truth that is ultimately hugely healing for you and for this connection and needed. The shadow dynamic is the lion, which is it's the epitome of like spiritual growth. And like this card talks about like, and this is the shadow dynamic between the both of y'all, and like kind of like the underlyings of this connection currently is like it's known intimately by few but respected by all, because it's like it's something that you can feel in the energy. It's like this energy is relentlessly geared towards growth. It's not geared towards what you want it to be, what they want it to be, what looks good, what looks pretty with a bow on it. It's here for growth. It's here for self-transformation, and that is the ultimate priority. That's the ultimate cosmic purpose of this. And that is something that's just like written in the like bones of this, the blood and bones of this connection. That's the basis of it, and that's what it's meant to do. And I feel like you're fully reaping the rewards of that, and like learning to trust that, and really like you're leaning into it in a way where you're not scared to look closely at it. You're not scared to look the truth dead in the eye, and you're seeing like you're doing that with the knowing that the more I can do that, the more fearless I can be in that, the more I'm going to upgrade from it and be transformed in a positive way from it, and like, yeah, really reap as much growth as you possibly can, so that this connection is no waste at all. It's like, it's reminding me of, like, you know how Native Americans, like, they will use every single aspect of an animal. They use the hide of the animal to keep them warm. They use the bones for like tools. Like, you're using every single layer and facet of this connection for your benefit, for your growth, and for your evolution, which is exactly what you should be doing. Wow, this feels really powerful and really divine. It's not like a y'all are meant to be together forever. It's not rainbows and sunshine, but it's everything that you need it to be. And there's, like, yes, coming back to this, have faith in that. Have faith that this was meant to be, and you know how to flow through it moment by moment, just from intuitive feeling. Trust your faith in this situation. Trust that you were called to it in the first place. Trust that you invested in it. Trust that you are learning from it, and trust that you are growing from it. And this is like the epitome of, like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And you are truly meant to be on this journey, and you were always meant to be on this journey. I'm gonna get some tarot. Let's go deeper. I want to know more what the other person is thinking and feeling currently. Okay, we got the Moon, 10 of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Hermit. So I feel like this person is feeling very uncertain about you and this connection. It's not in a negative air nor a positive. It's more like, I feel confused, and I feel like just, yeah, uncertain. This feels unknown, and that feels very uncomfortable to this person, like, which is human nature. Like, we want to feel like we have some sort of control or ability to predict the direction something is going in. And, you know, those with more confidence and a stronger sense of self, they're able to, like, embrace the unknown more readily than someone who is just has, like, less of a sense of self and is more, like, in either a transition era, or they just have less life experience and are still, like, forming their core self, which is kind of how I feel this person is showing up. Like, they're like feeling a deep uncomfortability in the fact that they don't know what's happening here, and it's feeling like threatening to their ego. And it feels like they're finding more comfort in being able to focus on their pentacle energy, their material type of energy, like their finances and their career, and that what they can actually see and, like, feel like they have more control over. And, like, if I work harder and invest more time and energy into this, I know that this will grow. Whereas they feel like if they invest more energy into y'all's connection, they feel really uncertain about whether that will actually, like, accumulate any wealth for them, like, spiritually or whatever. And so they're feeling like, I feel like they're kind of taking the safer route by, like, turning away from this unknown. And I feel like they want a fresh start with the Fool. And I don't really mean in this connection. I feel like they want a fresh start in their life. They want to feel like they have some ability to, like, change the space that they're in. And I feel like they're just, like, having a lot of doubt that investing more into this connection will give them that. and they're in this hermit energy. They're moving into more of a space of solitude as opposed to like teammate and partnership with you. Like they're feeling like they just want to kind of focus on themselves and invest in what they feel they know will give them the payoff that they're looking for. It definitely feels to me like no shade to this person, but it feels like a bit of an immature type of energy. But also like I feel like they are being called to it for a reason. Let's go a little deeper. I want to know a little bit more about how they're like viewing you. Six of Pentacles, kindness. They view you as a very kind energy. I feel like they do have a lot of respect and admiration for you, and it's like this, what they're going through is not a reflection of like how like what they think of you as an individual. They think you're a very kind and good natured person. Let's keep going. Strength, bravery. They view you as someone who's really strong, and I feel like you are the energy that like you're not scared to go into the unknown. You're not scared to look the unknown dead in the eyes and the truth dead in the eyes. And I feel like that energy is kind of intimidating to this person because I don't think they're in that space, to be honest. Like I think that they feel on an energetic level that they're not fully able to, they don't have the capacity to really meet you where you're at and to really match that. And to be honest, I don't think they are either. Let's get a little more. King of Swords, knowledge. So they also view you as being like a master of the mind. Like you have a really good balance with like your ability to rationalize things, but not in a space where you're like, I feel like you're someone who follows your heart but uses your mind, but you don't lead from the mind because you have the awareness of like how that can limit you ultimately, because it's like the human brain, it's trying to protect us based off past trauma. Our past trauma rewires our brain and it influences the way you view things. And I feel like you have a deep awareness in the way that like your past traumas and things, if you were to function fully based on what you can see with the physical eye, you know that that isn't the full story, and you know that like that can be distorted in certain ways. And I feel like they recognize this balance that you have around that, but this balance also comes from experience and like a inner trust in the self that again I don't think they're fully able to match and reflect. But these feel like some really key ingredients of like what they really admire about you and like have like ultimate respect for. I think they do view you in a very high light at the end of the day, and I think they simultaneously feel the disappointment that you feel in this connection and like in the way that they've shown up, which only promotes like the moon energy that they were feeling of like confusion and like uncertainty, where they're like, they can feel that like divot in the energy and like in themselves and the way they're able to show up, and it only further aggravates their like insecurity in this and like feeling of like, I could continue investing in this and trying to like match this person, but ultimately like they are they have so many inner resources that like they fear that you could just fully walk away from this, and what are they left with? Like, this is someone who's very attached to like wealth, but not necessarily just financial. They're attached to like having something they can show for everything they've done. Like, they're attached to being able to show this beautiful relationship they have, this nice like house that they have, or like, you know, like physical things that they can point to and be like, hey, look what I have. And if they don't feel confident that they're gonna be able to walk away from this with something they can point to, that they've like, here, this is what I have after all that I've invested into this. If they don't feel secure and confident that they're gonna have that, then they don't really like want to continue investing in it. Point blank. I'm gonna draw some tarot and see. I'm gonna draw tarot and oracle to see what is your advice going forward. Okay, we got Knight of Swords and Temperance. And with these, I'm feeling like it's coming back to your strength of what we were speaking of earlier with the King of Swords, of like, you really do have like such a beautiful balance and like you're a master of your mind. Like, you're really great at using your mind without being put in a cage from it. And I feel like this is something that's really gonna serve you to step into at this time and trust and use. It's like I said, you follow your heart, but you use your brain, and you trust your gut. And I feel like this is allowing a really deep healing for you to happen through this, of like using your brain to kind of cut the drama of it and the theatrics of it and the like woe is me victim mentality, and like the grip that you have, the attachment that you have to this connection, using your mind to allow that to loosen and let go and release for your benefit, for your healing. And it's, well, then we got Dancer movement. So maybe you do literally and physically heal and process through dancing, but it's also giving the energy of just like learning to flow and trusting your flow of every day, like trusting the flow of your life to carry you through this in the way that will best serve you. And we also got Unmarked Trail, Revelation, and Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life. So it's like you're starting, like on the other side of letting go of this and releasing it, you're seeing a whole new path, a whole new beginning possible for you. And you're seeing the way that this was the perfect storm to get you to this new path. Like, this connection was so necessary for your transformation and for your growth to get to this like ultimately fulfilling and like there's a lot of purpose behind like your new path that you're stepping into. And I think it's going to be so rewarding. It's going to be so fulfilling. It's going to be truly what you actually desire. And it's like, you thought because of your attachments to this connection that it was what you desired, but it's like, I'm getting like, you don't even know the half of it. Like, you're opening up a path that's going to give you more than you could ever even imagine. And being able to like let go and let God so that the best can come through is what's ultimately really gonna serve you right now. And also, like with the perfect storm, I feel like holding gratitude for the fact that this connection took place and that it gave you the upgrade that you needed to get to this new trail, and like not letting it be in a space of like disappointment or self-criticism or resentment towards this other person, because it was all divine. It was all part of it. You feel me? Like, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So I'm gonna go in with the concluding oracle card, and yeah, that will wrap up the reading. Okay, we had 3 concluding oracle cards that want to come out for you. First, we have I love you. These are powerful words. Then we have ask for help. What do you really need? Be willing to accept support. Which, really quick, I'm like already getting this message of you can get through anything with a strong support system if you will use it and believe that. And so I feel like this is a really important time to lean into that if you have it. And even if you don't feel that you have that with like family and friends at this time, there is always divine support through angels and God or source or the universe, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes we need to really specifically ask for that and like send out that divine prayer and asking for it to really like open it up and let that energy serve you and guide you and nurture you and support you. That shit is so real, speaking from personal experience, but you gotta ask for it sometimes. And then we also got love makes a difference. Love helps heal past hurts and provides a sense of security and self-worth. So I feel like there is a real emphasis here on like self-love, self-compassion, really like giving that to yourself fully without any guilt or any like sense of like, I'm feeling like some of y'all may struggle to really like allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to like take the space and time that you need to truly heal. Because I mean, this society that we live in, I can't blame you if it's like there's this very, that's a whole other story, but there's a lot of emphasis on like you always need to be hustling, you always need to be making this and this and this happen. And like, don't fall into the same trap that this other person has seen to, where it's like I always need something physically to show and to prove that I've done the work. It's like, trust that your health is your wealth, and whatever you feel called to, like the space that you feel called to is, you don't need to earn it, it's your birthright. And like really like letting yourself have that, because it is your birthright. And like treating yourself the way you would treat someone you love, or your best friend, or your romantic connection. Like, give that love to yourself. I know it's corny and it's like sometimes what we don't want to hear, but that's really what you need right now. That's really the space and time you need to make, and to like, is to give that to yourself. So that's what I got for you, bunny number 3. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Also, if there is like a specific theme or question that you have that you want to see a pick a card reading for, feel free to comment that down below. And yeah, bless y'all, you got this. I love you, my respects, blessings and everything coming to you. All right, peace out, y'all.